cave into spacecraft.
Welcome to PastPixels AI, where we unravel history's most intriguing tales, pixel by pixel. Today we're bringing you not one, but 3 captivating short stories of some of the most beautiful and iconic women in history. These legends weren't just famous for their looks, they shook the world in ways you wouldn't believe.
In this episode, we'll take you on a journey through the lives of 3 remarkable women. One made a daring ride that left an entire town speechless, another lost her head amidst a revolution, and the third danced her way into fame and mystery, only to meet a tragic end. Are you intrigued yet?
These stories are full of scandal, drama, and unforgettable moments. Who are they? Stick with us as we reveal their fascinating lives and the legacy they left behind.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an exciting dive into the past, right here on PastPixels AI.
In the glittering courts of 18th century Austria, a young archduchess was born into a life of privilege and royal duty. Marie Antoinette, daughter of Empress Maria Theresa, was the 15th child of the powerful Habsburg dynasty, destined for a life that would one day make her one of the most famous and controversial queens in history. At the age of 14, Marie Antoinette was sent to France to marry the future King Louis XVI, cementing the political alliance between Austria and France. The union, while meant to strengthen empires, would eventually lead to personal and national turmoil. Versailles, the grand palace of France, became Marie Antoinette's new home. She soon became a fashion icon, setting trends with her extravagant dresses, intricate hairstyles, and opulent lifestyle. However, the rigid customs of the French court, combined with her lavish spending, began to isolate her from both the court and the common people. As tensions grew in France, rumors about Marie Antoinette began to spread, feeding the public's resentment. One of the most infamous claims was that upon hearing the people had no bread, Marie Antoinette supposedly said, "Let them eat cake," but there is no historical evidence she ever uttered these words. The quote was attributed to her in popular pamphlets and revolutionary propaganda designed to paint her as out of touch with the struggles of the common people. In reality, this phrase had been circulating in various forms long before Marie Antoinette's reign and was likely a fabrication to fuel public outrage. In truth, Marie Antoinette was largely unaware of the depth of France's poverty, living in the insulated world of Versailles, where the harsh realities of common life seldom reached her. The "let them eat cake" myth became a symbol of her perceived indifference, even though it was likely a cruel fiction. To escape the suffocating formalities of court life, Marie Antoinette retreated to the Petit Trianon, a small palace within the grounds of Versailles. Here, she indulged in a simpler, pastoral lifestyle, far removed from the expectations of a queen. But this attempt at escapism only fueled more rumors and disdain from the public, who viewed her lifestyle as frivolous and disconnected from the harsh realities of the people. The French press was relentless in its attacks on the Queen, accusing her of everything from reckless spending to immoral behavior. Pamphlets portrayed her as Madame Deficit, Mrs. Debt, blaming her for the kingdom's growing financial crisis, even though the roots of France's economic troubles ran far deeper. By the late 1780s, France was on the brink of revolution. Widespread hunger, poverty, and the monarchy's excesses stirred deep resentment among the people. Revolution erupted in 1789, and soon the lives of Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI were under direct threat. In a desperate attempt to escape the revolutionary chaos, the royal family fled Paris in 1791, but their escape was cut short in the town of Varennes, where they were recognized and captured. From that moment, the monarchy's fate was sealed. The monarchy was officially abolished in 1792, and King Louis XVI was put on trial for treason. Louis was executed in January 1793, leaving Marie alone to face the revolutionaries. Despite Marie Antoinette's desperate attempts to protect her children and maintain her dignity, in October 1793, Marie Antoinette was brought before the Revolutionary Tribunal on charges of treason. Her trial was swift, and the outcome was inevitable. She was sentenced to death by guillotine. On October 16, 1793, the former queen was led through the streets of Paris to her execution, dressed in simple white. Her once opulent life had been reduced to a tragic and solitary end. Her final words were not those of a detached monarch, but a personal apology to her executioner after stepping on his foot. Over the centuries, Marie Antoinette has remained a symbol of the French monarchy's excess, a figurehead of aristocratic indulgence and its eventual downfall. But beyond the myths and scandals, she was a woman trapped by the expectations of her role, navigating a world of politics, luxury, and revolution. From the glittering halls of Versailles to the dark streets of revolutionary Paris, Marie Antoinette's story is one of beauty, power, and ultimate tragedy. Thank you for joining us as we explored the remarkable yet heartbreaking life of France's last queen.
Bonjour, my dear friends. If you enjoyed this little glimpse into my royal life, do be so kind as to like and subscribe to the PastPixels AI YouTube channel. And keep an eye out for more delightful stories from my fellow friends of the past.
And keep watching as we continue with another short story.
Du temps vivent des rêves évanescents.
Hey, hope you're enjoying what you've seen so far. Just a quick note before we dive back in. Did you know that over 80% of you watching right now aren't subscribed to PastPixels AI? Seriously, subscribing is completely free, and it means the world to us here at PastPixels AI. It helps us keep bringing you these awesome stories from history. So if you're loving the content, hit that subscribe button. It really makes a difference. All right, let's get back to it and jump into the next short story.
In the heart of medieval England, a noblewoman dared to defy the oppressive powers of her time, becoming a legend remembered for her courage and compassion. Her name was Lady Godiva. The story begins in the 11th century, in the town of Coventry, where Lady Godiva, the wife of Leofric, Earl of Mercia, lived. The people of Coventry suffered under heavy taxes imposed by her husband, taxes that left many impoverished and struggling to survive. Godiva was deeply compassionate and cared for her people. She repeatedly asked her husband to reduce the burdensome taxes, but Leofric was unmoved. Frustrated by her persistence, he made a bold and seemingly impossible challenge. "If you truly want to help the people," he said, "then ride through the streets of Coventry naked, and I will lift the taxes." Thinking that she would never agree to such a scandalous act, Leofric was confident in his demand. Lady Godiva, however, did not waver. She knew that the suffering of her people was too great, and she would rather face humiliation than see them starve. With great courage, she made her decision. On a quiet morning, Lady Godiva mounted her horse. Her long hair, like a veil of modesty, covered her body as she rode through the streets. The townspeople, moved by her bravery, stayed inside, closing their shutters in respect for her bold act. According to legend, all except one man obeyed the order to stay hidden. A tailor known as Peeping Tom could not resist the urge to steal a glimpse of Lady Godiva, but as punishment for his disrespect, he was struck blind the moment he laid eyes on her. When Godiva returned from her courageous ride, Leofric kept his word and lowered the taxes. The people of Coventry were saved, and Lady Godiva's selflessness was forever remembered. Lady Godiva's ride became a legend, immortalized in art, literature, and the culture of Coventry itself. Her story of bravery and sacrifice has endured for centuries, a reminder that one person's courage can change the fate of many. Lady Godiva's legacy will live on as a beacon of hope and courage. If you're enjoying these short stories, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more legendary stories from history. In the early 20th century, few figures captured the world's attention like the exotic dancer known as Mata Hari. Seductive, enigmatic, and daring, she rose to fame for her sensual performances, only to be condemned as a traitor and executed as a spy. But who was Mata Hari, and how did she become one of history's most infamous femme fatales? Mata Hari was born Margaretha Geertruida Zell on August 7, 1876, in the Netherlands. She was the eldest daughter of a prosperous family, but her idyllic childhood would be short-lived. At the age of 13, her mother passed away and her father's business collapsed soon after. Left adrift, Margaretha was sent to live with relatives, beginning a life marked by restlessness and reinvention. At the age of 18, she married Rudolf MacLeod, a Dutch colonial army officer, and they moved to the Dutch East Indies, what is now Indonesia. The marriage was fraught with difficulties. Rudolf was an abusive husband, and the couple suffered personal tragedies, including the death of one of their children. Eventually, the marriage dissolved, and Margaretha returned to Europe with a burning desire to forge a new identity. In 1905, Margaretha Zell reinvented herself as Mata Hari, a name she claimed meant Eye of the Day in Malay. She became an instant sensation in Paris, captivating audiences with her so-called sacred dances, inspired by the traditions she claimed to have learned in the East. With her bold performances and exotic persona, Mata Hari quickly became a star. She presented herself as a Javanese princess, schooled in ancient temple dances. In reality, much of her backstory was fabricated, but it didn't matter. Audiences were entranced by her beauty and mystery. She performed across Europe, mingling with the aristocracy and military elites. But as World War I tore Europe apart, Mata Hari's world of glamour began to crumble. With her connections to high-ranking military officers and diplomats, she was perfectly positioned to be drawn into the world of espionage. But was she really a spy, or just a scapegoat in a time of fear and suspicion? In 1916, she was approached by the German Secret Service, who allegedly paid her to pass on information. Named H21, Mata Hari traveled across borders, meeting with officers, seducing powerful men, and possibly exchanging information. But whether she actually provided any valuable intelligence remains unclear. By 1917, Mata Hari's days of performing and lavish living were over. Amid the paranoia of war, she was arrested by French authorities on charges of espionage. The evidence against her was weak, based largely on intercepted messages and circumstantial connections. Still, she was tried in a secret military court, and the French government, desperate for a scapegoat, branded her a German spy. Her trial was sensationalized by the press, who painted her as a dangerous seductress, using her charms to betray France. Mata Hari denied being a spy, but her defense fell on deaf ears. On October 15, 1917, she was sentenced to death by firing squad. On a cold October morning, Mata Hari was executed by a firing squad in the outskirts of Paris. According to witnesses, she faced her executioners without fear, even blowing them a kiss before the shots rang out. To this day, Mata Hari's true role remains shrouded in mystery. Was she truly a dangerous spy, or simply a woman caught in the wrong place at the wrong time? Her life and death have inspired countless books, films, and legends, cementing her place in history as one of the world's most enigmatic figures. What we do know is that Mata Hari, the woman who once dazzled the world with her beauty and allure, met a tragic end in the shadow of war, forever remembered as the seductive spy who fooled the world.
Thanks for sticking around this far. I really hope you enjoyed the content. Just a quick shout out. The AI software we used includes Hedra.com, Hailuo AI, Udio Music, and 11 Labs. Big thanks to them for making this possible. Now, before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. Also, a quick reminder, these videos are created with AI, so mistakes and inaccuracies might slip through. We always recommend fact-checking everything, and if you spot any errors, drop them in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Keep an eye out for more amazing videos coming your way soon.